Any more books in development? Okay. Yes and no. So I have other projects in the works, but nothing zombie right now. Basically because I just don't have a zombie idea I'm jazzed about. You know, believe me, I'm the world's worst businessman. If I wanted to just make bank, I would be on like World War Z Part 5 at this point. And I just keep adding water to that and just keep stretching it out so, you know, I can just make bank. But here's the problem. What makes me write World War Z is the very thing that makes me not write a sequel right now. Because unfortunately, here's the deal. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you for supporting me and, you know, helping my kids pay his college tuition. But the truth is, I have absolutely no idea what you guys want. I'm no good at trying to guess about what is in the public mind. I don't know. If I would do that, I wouldn't be at this panel. All right, I'd be talking about my new hit show, sitcom, NBC. Okay, I don't know. I can't write for the popular mindset because I have absolutely no idea. All I can do is write for me. That's it. When I sit down to write something, it's got to be something that I'm jazzed about. Because I spent too many years trying to write for other people that I didn't like and they didn't like, and all I have to show for it is years of my life wasted. I can't do that again. When I sit down to write, it's got to be with the same kind of passion. The kind of passion that insulates me from you guys. And what I mean is, if I write something and I love it and you guys hate it, that's cool. It's not cool for you, but I don't care because I loved it. I love doing it. And that's got to be my compass. So, yeah, I do have other things in the works right now. Like I said, I've got this miniseries for G.I. Joe. Worst business decision I could have made. Why would I take a break from zombies? Yeah. Why would I do it? Because I love G.I. Joe. Because I grew up in the 80s, and I'm totally jazzed about G.I. Joe. And I met Christos Gage at a convention, and he's on record G.I. Joe, and I'm like, oh, I'd love to do that. Sort of in the way I'd like to say, oh, you know, I would love to have married Jane Seymour in 1978. Like a dream that will never happen. And he said, well, why don't you submit something? I'm sure they'd consider working with you. And I was like, yeah. Well, in my spare time, I started getting an idea. And I wrote it down, and I wrote a comic book script, and I submitted it to IDW, and I thought maybe they would be so kind as to give me a shot at one of their existing storylines. And they said, we love it. We'd like to give you your own miniseries. Nice. Yeah, I thought so. So what I'm doing is something called G.I. Joe Hearts and Minds, and it's 5 issues, and each issue is divided up into 2 stories, one G.I. Joe, one Cobra. And they're not linear stories. What they are is sort of an up-close and personal view of a Joe or a Cobra, sort of a day in the life. Who are these guys? What does it take to do the job that they do? Or what brought them to this point? And that's the kind of stuff that really got me excited. It was a chance to like go back into my childhood and give it another level. And also make it human. Because, you know, I love the 80s G.I. Joe, but like I would say, the 80s was a time of harmless violence. You know, he won't remember. There was a man before you were born. His name was Ronald Reagan. All right, now this Ronald Reagan, he, especially around here in San Francisco, people didn't like him because they thought he was militant, militaristic, a gunslinger, a cowboy, a warlike. And that might be true. He talked tough, but the truth is we never actually went to war. We invaded countries like Grenada. So as a result, the 80s, as you know, was a time of very harmless violence, where there was a lot of shooting and no one seemed to ever get hit. Well, I don't think you can do that now. We're involved in 2 wars. Things are really serious, and you can't just use sort of harmless laser beams. You can't have roadblock rhymes words. G.I. Joe fans are like, yeah, he did do that, didn't he? So in Hearts and Minds, I try to make it more realistic. If these people were real people, who would they be? And we deal with issues like racism, and we deal with issues like medical malpractice and science versus religion. We deal with the nature of fear and torture. We go very heavily into torture in one episode and what it means in terms of the Geneva Convention. We actually quote the Geneva Convention in Article 3. So that's what I tried to do in Hearts and Minds. Now, here's the deal. People may hate it, because it's not traditional G.I. Joe. It's not even a linear story. For the first 6 months of any project I ever come out with, I consistently get slammed. And that's cool, because I love it, but people don't know what to expect from me. I'm always sort of keeping people off balance, and they don't like it. It's like they'll read a project of mine, and they'll think, oh, this is Max Brooks. This is what I will expect next time. And they get the next thing, and they go, what the hell is this? And it's like I said with Zombie Survival Guide. I don't blame people for thinking it was funny, because it wasn't my fault. I mean, to this day, it's put in the freaking humor section, and I've done everything possible to tell people, not funny. 7 years later, 1 million copies later, right? That means there's 300 million Americans. For every 300 people in here, if this was a microcosm of America, one of you would have it. All this time, all this press, all these copies later, go on Amazon. You will still see somebody writing and saying, not funny! Where's the jokes? Or, joke gets old really fast. World War Z. I did not want to do just one main character and one main story. Didn't want to do it. Said it in every interview. Says it right there on the Amazon page. Says it on the back of the book. Says it everywhere. Collection of interviews. No main character. Comes out. To this day, no main character. Swing and miss. That was a good one. Swing and miss. One person actually said, I'm not kidding, too detailed. Sorry. But people keep expecting it. Courage. Comic book. Pictures. Comes out to this day. It's a comic book. And I guarantee you, when mine comes out, someone's going to be like, where are the damn zombies? I know it's going to come as a shock to you, but people have a tendency to rip off other people. You don't believe me? Go to the Saber Forge people. The people that make lightsabers. I just talked to them. I'm just like, wow, George Lucas doesn't sue you? And they're like, no, because legally, if it's 15% different, he can't sue you. Wow, you guys have really thought about this. So that's the mindset of most people. They're talking about Lucas. Lucas lost a lawsuit. I ain't telling anybody about what I got coming out. I ain't George Lucas. I can tell you this. It's not G.I. Joe. It's not zombies. It's not even any characters you'll recognize. It's, wow, what a potential for disaster. When it comes out,